You know, sometimes your Monday just needs a little juice, and that's where good time Timmy Doyle comes in. 1/4 of the four tops, our NBA analyst and wagering wonder here to dive into this Monday slate, TD. Let's start where things are going to finish. Dubs and Clippers going up in Titletown. Warriors have won both prior meetings between these two, with Steph averaging 39 points per game over those two contests. Golden State given 6 on the road in this one. What's your read on the nightcap?
You know, Joe, I'm going to be on the call of this game for the NBA app. So I will have a pick on the game. I know you're not supposed to pick it's my job to pick the game. Okay, I'm going to lay the points in this spot. I think Golden State's starting to find its rhythm. We saw Klay Thompson have a monster effort against the Lakers. That was a game that was kind of odd, back and forth. Lakers had the lead late, and Golden State figures out a way to win. But what are the Clippers right now? You know, there's so much talk about what a disaster it's been in Brooklyn. What has it been in LA? You know what I mean? Like, you brought Kawhi and Paul George to town. Ballmer's clapping like a wild man at the press conference.
Pretty cool.
What is it laid? You know, what is the end result of it all? So, you know, right now there are a couple games below 500. You know, does this game matter? I don't know. It's a Monday night in the regular season. I just trust Golden State more. And let's start getting excited about the Warriors bench. The Kumingas of the world, the Moses Moody's of the world. They've drafted really smart. Obviously, Weissman, has been injured this year, but what is he going to be able to bring to the table at some point? So Steph's been remarkable. He was not great against the Lakers. And what is better than going up against a team that you've just had utter domination against? You know what I mean? Like, It's great, like, when you don't have a great game, and then it's like, oh, great, we're playing the team that I always beat up on. I expect a monster effort from Steph Curry. Give me over in his points prop and lay the points here with the Warriors.
Yeah, I like both of those picks. You mentioned Kuminga. Unbelievably polished for 19 years old, what we've seen already this season. And the Splash Brothers seem to have it going in lockstep coming out of that last one. It's going to be a fun watch at 10:30 Eastern. We're still looking at this logjam out east, TD, with the top 5 seeds currently separated by 2.5 games. Milwaukee does seem to be trending in the right direction at the right time, but Giannis doubtful for tonight's tip against the Blazers. That moves the line from 15.5 down to 11.5. I'm going to leave the handicapping to Kenny White and the sorts, but the Freak's got to be worth more than 4 points, does he not? Where are you deploying the bankroll on this one?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. That's exactly what he's worth if that's where the line went. Yeah, he probably is worth more. But here's the deal. Last time that the Bucks played Portland was on February 5th. Joe, they scored 137 points. I mean, like, if there's a game you're going to sit out, it's probably like, hey, remember when we played these guys last time? We scored almost $140 against them. Hey, Giannis, why don't you take the night off? It's cold. It's Valentine's Day. Like, go enjoy your family. Like, don't worry about tonight. We got it. So they're obviously going to win this game. Laying 11.5 is always dangerous. But if you lay points like this, you have to foresee the potential of a blowout. Like, whenever you lay a massive point spread in the NBA, you have to visualize a 30-point game. Because when you lay this many points, anything could happen in the fourth quarter, right? You could be up 18, then a 10-0 run, and then you don't go out and cover this game. But the fact that on their West Coast trip, Bucks went 3-1 on the West Coast trip. Listen to this, Joe. 131 points against the Lakers, 137 against the Clippers, and then I already mentioned 137 points against the Trailblazers. So, yeah, the last leg of the trip, they got beat up against the Suns, but I mean, hey, the Suns are playing really good basketball right now. They come home, they get good shots. Give me Bucks team total over in this spot. No Giannis, but still, Joe, I sort of love it.
Oh, come on. TD, he's got the color scheme down. He even brought cards for everybody. And for my money, he still goes through Cream City. So we'll see if Giannis, he's obviously got the night off here. We're going to see him down the stretch, and it's going to be a blast. Lopsided slate, as you mentioned, leaving us with some big numbers here to chew on. Jazz are giving 15 to the Rockets at home. Totals coming in at 231. Food for thought here. Houston 1-7 against the number over their last 8, and they've been staring down big numbers the entirety of that time. Too many points, or are you diving in the deep end?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of you-know-what to go out and bet the Rockets with those numbers and with the talent that they're trotting out on the floor. Even their best players are getting in the fights with coaching staff members. So, once again, we just talked about this with the Bucks. Can you visualize Utah winning this game by 40 at home, 35 at home, 30 at home? I can, because Houston's not disciplined from a defensive standpoint, and the Jazz, every time down the floor, like, they get a good shot. They play old man YMCA basketball. I'm not out here being like, oh, this is the game that they, but like, you know, it's a massive spread. Anything could happen in the NBA. But Houston's an absolute disaster right now. Utah is one of those teams that's flying below the radar. I think when we talk about some of the best teams in the NBA, the Jazz failed to get mentioned. Everyone's kind of still on this Bucks train, and Phoenix had a great year, and Steph's going to be there at the end of the day, and Philly's making moves, but it's like this might be a game that the Jazz send a message to the rest of the NBA that, hey guys, look over here, like we're still pretty good. Tell me this, Joe. You were a bad local sports announcer,
wow, okay.
Anchor, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Okay, like somewhere. Did you ever say, "Oh, Houston, there's a problem," because it seems to be a problem right now with the Rockets?
I did not go that. I like to go a layer deeper. Failure to launch. I got to make you think about it a little bit. So failure to launch did make it into a sportscaster too, TD, but nothing as bad as that jacket. Let's take a look at those picks once again from our guy Tim Doyle. Always entertaining and putting money in your pocket as well. When it comes to the Dubs and the Clippers, he's got two plays for you. Warriors lay the 6 and play Steph over the 22.5, averaging near 40 points per game against the Clippers this season. Trailblazers and Bucks, that's an 11.5-point line. No Giannis. Bucks team total. Split that thing in half and play them over their 118.5 as they're scraping their head on 140 here and there. Rockets and Jazz, statement game against a lowly Houston team. Lay the 15 with Utah. All right, it's that time to put it all on the line for one walk to the window with the hammer himself. TD, where are you taking us for your favorite play on hardwood?
Yeah, the San Antonio Spurs are playing their best basketball of the season. And trust me, I know you do not care about it, all right? But they went to Atlanta. They scored 136 points, knocked off the Hawks. Hawks are playing their best basketball of the year. And then they traveled down to New Orleans, who just picked up C.J. McCollum. Smacked around the Pelicans, scored 124 in that spot. If you watch Chicago Bulls basketball over the last week, like I do because I live in Chicago, Phoenix scored 119. Sorry, Philly did. Phoenix scored almost 130. And then Minnesota scored over 120. Like, the fact that the Spurs are playing great basketball, the Bulls aren't guarding everybody, Joe. This is a hammer time opportunity here over in this spot. And overs are fun to bet. You know what I mean? It's always like points. There's a vivaciousness to it. Like, there's a pep in your step. Unders are depressing. You want injury, famine, divorce. Nobody wants that, right? You want a lot of points in this spot. And the fact that the Bulls are shorthanded, when I saw them live last week, I noticed something. The offensive players play hard on offense. Like DeRozan, the Levines, Vucevic. It's almost impossible to play hard both ways because they don't have the bodies right now with all the injuries that they've had. So this is going to be one of those games that they go up and down. There's going to be a ton of points. And Joe, I said it once, I say it again. I love the over in this spot.
That's a more you bet, more you win situation there from Tim Doyle. In love with the over when it comes to the Spurs and the Bulls. But we need you to stack up a few of your favorites. Anything that has your heart's desire. We need your parlay play here on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, give me over in that Bulls-Spurs game. I mentioned that. The Pelicans, ever since they picked up C.J. McCollum, maybe they've run into the wrong teams at the wrong times. If they're getting points tonight, I kind of like them on the money line. But if you're going to give me some points against the Raptors, I'll take some of that. I think they finally turn it around with McCollum. And then parlays are hard to hit. Jazz are winning. We all know that. So just throw them in there in the money line. Make this 4-team parlay really a 3-team parlay. And then Creighton in Omaha. Do you want to know something? That's where my wife went to school. And when, like, one day we went back to her college campus and, like, we walked around, like, holding hands before kids and stuff. This is when we were happy. And she goes, you see that dorm over there? I was like, yeah, honey. She goes, you see the second floor? I go, yeah. She goes, you see that window? I go, uh-huh. She goes, you don't want to know what happened in that window. I go, we all were in college at one time, honey. I get it, all right? But they go out there and knock off the Hoyers. Give me Creighton on the money line.
Hey, Tim Doyle, love has many faces, and we love having you here on CBS Sports HQ. Thank you for the picks, as always, TD. All right, taking a look at the Monday night parlay. Spurs Bulls over 234. High level of confidence on that play from TD. He's gotten eyes on this Bulls team firsthand in the recent past. They don't play both ends because they don't have the bodies. Spurs are playing good basketball. Take that one over to 234. Stack that up with the Pels catching 3.5. Creighton on the money line, Jazz money line, and that's nearly 3.5 to your dollar.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.